You're watching the SEC on ESPN. A gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Park, where LSU has already picked up 2 wins in the series in a top 20 showdown with Arizona, coming to town out of the Big 12, looking for a rebound in a series that has a whole lot of postseason meaning for these two teams. We get Game 3 today. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside Madison Shipman. Glad to have you with us for Game 3. Maddie, despite the fact that LSU has already won the first 2 games of this series, this one has a ton of meaning, particularly as both teams try to get the top 16 seed to host a regional.
You know, it's interesting because you might look at some other teams across the country when they have a bye weekend or an off weekend from conference play. Maybe they decide to give their team some rest, but no, not for Caitlin Lowe and not Beth Torina. They went ahead and scheduled a top 20 out-of-conference matchup, 3-game series, because they want to prepare their teams for what a super regional is going to feel like, to your point, Matt, because everybody wants that top 16 spot so that they can stay at home and host regionals when May comes around.
Both coaches have told us this weekend, Maddie, has felt like a super regional. The margin of error has been such.
I really do think it feels like that because of, 1, the environment, and 2, how it's really come down to the clutch, timely piece of hitting or the clutch pitch when they needed it. Jaden Huebner with 3 strikeouts to end the game on Friday, and then LSU's bats got rolling again. Kylie Edwards, who has just been on an absolute heater, scores a run with a double down the right field line and then comes in on the sac fly. Now, Arizona had their chances. They had Sydney Stewart up with the bases loaded in the 7th inning, but it was CeCe Salora with a fantastic pitching performance to give LSU the first 2 wins in this 3-game series. But coming into this weekend, you can see just how close Arizona and LSU are pretty much in every single category. Matt, if we were to do one of those blind resumes, they would be looking nearly identical. RPI 13 and 16, strength of schedule 10 and 6. RPI against top 25 teams as well. That's where you see how important a game like today can be, not just for where these teams are at in the season, but because they are looking ahead to the postseason. They want to be the teams that are going to host a regional.
Arizona's bats, they feel like, have had opportunities, as you mentioned, Maddie, to win the first 2 games of this series. They have lacked, however, the timely hit. And that's what they're looking for here in Game 3. Taking on Peyton Monticelli, who will try to go the distance for the 3rd straight time in this series by an LSU starter.
Last time Peyton Monticelli got the start was against Missouri in their series. She ended up going 4 innings in that start. And we're going to see how the Arizona batters can adjust now the 3rd day in the row. This time they're going to be facing high velocity. Peyton Monticelli is going to throw consistently 68, 69 miles per hour at the top part of the zone. Really utilizes that rise ball and that changeup combo. Yesterday, when Arizona was facing CeCe Salora, they were facing a lot of down, heavy drop ball. Now you're having to shift gears and completely adjust to a completely different part of the strike zone to try to get on base.
2-1 count to Reagan Shockey. Just missed. Shockey has been a tremendous table setter this year for an Arizona team that lost 10 players to the transfer portal in the offseason. She's the lone returning starter in the outfield. Chopper to short. Kylie Edwards has been one of the MVPs of the series for LSU, has the first out of the inning.
Looked like Reagan Shockey maybe got that one a bit off the end of the bat, but Kylie Edwards has to be ready for the top 2 in this order because both of them being slappers. Now they slap in a little bit of different ways. Reagan Shockey more of the soft slap like we just saw on that ground ball over to shortstop. Serenity Trice, who's stepping into the batter's box now, has that power slap. She can drive the ball into the gap.
Trice batting .450 entering the weekend. Second in the Big 12. Big 12 behind only Caitlin Terry of Texas Tech, a team that Arizona has already beaten once this year. 0-2. Ringer up on the outside corner. That's back-to-back for Monticelli.
You can see within this at-bat, Serenity Trice really working on trying to see that rise ball down. She swung at a rise ball that was up and near her eyes earlier in the at-bat, so then you're trying to be a little bit more particular about what you go after, and that's when Peyton Monticelli throws in that low rise ball, starts at the knees, ends up about thigh-high for strike 3.
Sydney Stewart, second-year transfer from Washington, has had a major jump at the plate in her 2 seasons at Arizona. Reigning second-team All-American and really the centerpiece of this Arizona offense.
And she's going to be a big reason for them if they want to come out with a win in today's game. We've seen Serenity Trice and Reagan Shockey be able to get on base, but it's coming through with that hit when they're aboard. And that's exactly why Sydney Stewart's put in this 3 spot so that she can try to drive them in. And Matt, you mentioned the huge jump in numbers. She had 7 combined home runs in the 23 and 24 seasons at Washington. Last season, 20 home runs. This year, already up to 14 home runs. She has just unlocked that power in her swing.
And she works at it.
We watched her in the cage.
Boy, she was in there forever this morning.
It seemed like she was taking rounds in every single batting cage out there, and there are some hitters out there where the ball just sounds different off of her bat. She is definitely one of those hitters.
Takes ball 4 on a hitter's count for Monticelli. First base runner aboard today for Arizona.
It's a good take on that pitch. We have an awesome view being back here in the TV booth right behind home plate, so you could see that that pitch was maybe just a tad bit off of the plate. If that were a 2-strike situation, I would imagine that she probably swings at that, but because it was a hitter's count, she went ahead and let it go by for ball 4.
Here we are.
Here's our view.
Right behind home plate.
It's perfect. I have a great view of every single pitch. Now, I'm glad I'm not the one back there calling balls and strikes, though.
Off the bat of Telly Jennings.
This series has been a little sporty, a little chippy at times, which I absolutely love. I love to see the competitive fire from both dugouts.
Strikeout by Monticelli, her second. Speaking of some spice, little fireworks in the first inning here at Baton Rouge. The crowd getting into it.
That's how you get things going if you're LSU. Monticelli with 2 strikeouts, pumping in 70 plus. It's going to be a good day.
Shoe batting .325 in the series over the first 2 games against Arizona. Sierra Daniel, last 7 games, has been unbeatable.
Coming into last week, she had 0 home runs on the season. She has hit both of her home runs this season, one of them being a 3-run shot in Game 1 of this series against Arizona. Coach Beth Torina called her the hit queen when we talked to her earlier this week.
Taking on Janae Berry, the sophomore transfer from Indiana.
Berry getting the start in this series for the second game. She got the start on Friday night's game, ended up going 2 2/3 innings, did strike out 2 batters, but walked 4. So the key for her today, in my opinion, is try to limit those free passes against this LSU offense. And she's somebody, too, that you're going to see her mix 3 different speeds. She's going to throw low 60s with that screwball and that curveball combination. That rise ball is the one that's going to come in just a little bit slower, maybe in the high 50s. And then she has that changeup coming in the low 50s.
Lassiter, scorcher to center field. It is caught by Reagan Shockey, 1 down. That's interesting because we were talking with Caitlin Lowe pre-game, head coach for Arizona. Told us she feels like her defense and her pitching have been synergistic this weekend. They have played off of each other. Where it has not translated is to the timely hits offensively. And when you look at the numbers, if you're just looking at offensive numbers, you might think at least Arizona's won one of these games this weekend, but it's been LSU that somehow has scraped out 2 wins.
Well, especially yesterday's game when Arizona out-hit LSU's team. They ended up with 7 hits yesterday, and I believe LSU ended up with 3 hits yesterday. And yet LSU came out on top in those games, and what that tells me is that there's the clutch factor there for this LSU offense. And one of those big pieces, of course, is Sierra Daniel and the way that she's been hitting, not just this week, but really all season long, holding it down in that second spot, too, for this order. Very disciplined hitter as well. 27 walks so far on the season. They're really going to make you work out there. And when they know that they're facing Janae Berry, who has had trouble locating the strike zone consistently, I think we're going to see a very, very disciplined LSU offense today.
Daniel, diving play at second base by Trice, pops up and makes it in time for Arizona. There's the defense of the Wildcats again being highlighted here in the first inning.
There have been so many great plays from this defense, and go ahead and add this one to the highlight reel. Serenity Trice having to dive into that 3-4 hole. Now, because it was a changeup, Sierra Daniel got it off the end of the bat, but for her to be able to pop up to her knees, get that throw over there to first base in time with the speedy Daniel running down the line, that was one great play.
Strike 1 to Kylie Edwards, whose average is up almost 100 points over the last month of the season. A nasty off-speed pitch from Berry, 0-2.
And I'd imagine she's going to continue to see more and more of those off-speed pitches, trying to do whatever they can to keep Kylie Edwards off the bases.
Berry lines it right into the mid of Taylor Beal. 1-2-3 first inning for Janae Berry. No blood after 1 in Baton Rouge.
College softball is brought to you by new Sonic Refreshers. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Women's College World Series is the goal for these two programs. It's been a little while since each has been back. In 2022, under first-year head coach at the time, Caitlin Lowe, Arizona made it. For LSU, it's been since 2017. That man won all 8 of Arizona's World Series titles. Mike Candrea in the crowd. He was born and raised just down the road in New Orleans. And Maddie, a legend of the game, enjoying this 3-game series here in Baton Rouge.
We have a couple of legends of the game here. Coach Yvette Girard is in the house as well. Her and Coach Candrea both threw out the first pitch for today's ball game. Both of those coaches paved the way for these young ladies to be able to go out there and compete every single day, doing what they love. Paved the way, too, I'd like to think, to help me be able to be in the booth and to be able to call such incredible games. Very thankful for what Coach Yvette Girard and Coach Mike Candrea contributed to the sport of softball.
That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Peyton Monticelli. Are we seeing LSU develop a true 3-starter rotation?
It's really impressive the way that they've been able to utilize all 3 of their pitchers and how they throw different types of pitches. And it forces offenses to have to change their game plans very quickly. When you're facing somebody like Jaden Heavner, who got the start on Friday night, you know you're going to be facing firm left-handed curveball, rise ball, off-speed combo. Then you fast forward to Saturday's game. You've got CeCe Salora, heavy drop ball down in the zone, and now Peyton Monticelli coming in there with a firm rise ball from the right side. There's a look at Jaden Heavner down in the bullpen. It can be very tricky to navigate 3 different types of arms within the same 3-game series.
Emma Kavanaugh with a scorcher foul, the starting DP today for Arizona, who's hit .355 over the course of the regular season, one of the tops in the Big 12. But in this series, they have managed just .218 against LSU pitching. Of course, LSU in the offseason parting ways with Sydney Berzon, now at Oklahoma, 2-time All-American. There were some questions about what the bullpen would look like this year for LSU. It's challenged Beth Torina to mix and match, Maddie, maybe more than she has ever before in her tenure as the head coach here.
Well, and I think that's the great part about all these games, whether it's in February, March, or now getting tested in this super regional environment here in April. You get to see how you want to use the different pitchers on your staff, because it doesn't just have to be the same pitcher going out there every single day. You can play the matchups, you can look at the different swing types that you're going to be facing, but also it comes down to that in-game feel. And if you're out there and you have a starter going and she is looking really good, you just keep her out there. Just ride her the rest of the game, and that's been kind of the game plan for LSU this weekend.
Monticelli's 4th strikeout, 3rd in a row. 2 gone in the 2nd inning.
How about that changeup, too? She has such great command of this pitch, and it's coming in about 61 miles per hour, so it's not one of those incredibly slow changeups where it's going to drop down into the low 50s, but just enough to, by the time you recognize it as a batter, it is too late.
Kez Lucas, one of 4 incoming freshmen this year for Arizona. A program that really did a roster rebuild in the offseason. 6 transfers, 4 freshmen, essentially a brand new team for Caitlin Lowe this year, after they failed to get out of their own regional last year. And ironically, the team across the diamond, very similar. Both teams hosted regionals last year. Neither reached the Super. And so both, it feels this year, Maddie, are playing with a little bit of extra motivation from the way last year ended.
And similarly, I feel like it just comes down to being able to put everything together, put it all together at the right time of the year. You want to be the team that's playing their best softball once you get towards the end of April and into May. And for both of these teams, it's getting the pitching, getting the offense, and getting the defense all firing at the same time.
Lucas on the ground, scooped by Daniel. Monticelli is cruising through 2 innings, has 4 strikeouts. ESPN is your home for the Women's College World Series. Coverage begins May 28th on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Pre-game, we had a couple of legendary coaches from the Women's College World Series throw out the ceremonial first pitches, Mike Candrea and Yvette Girard.
Looks like they're pumping in 70-plus still. Love to see it. 2 legends of the game, both watching their former programs, too, out here competing. What a special moment. Both of those coaches meaning so much to the sport of softball. Coach Girard with over 1,200 wins in her career. Coach Candrea over 1,600 wins. Fastest coach in NCAA history to get to 1,600 wins. And both of them are in the house still throwing strikes.
Yvette still one of just a few coaches to take 2 different programs to the World Series. Did it at University of Louisiana and then came here and did it at LSU before turning the keys over to Beth Torino.
I love how we continue to see both of them around the ballpark still.
Well played at third base. Jenna Sniffen with the catch on a line out by Alex Franklin.
Hard line drive over to the left side. You see where Sniffen is playing all the way back behind third base, respecting the power that Alex Franklin has. A little bit of dip on that line drive too. Went down towards the dirt, but she still got it. No problem.
In steps Tori Edwards, one of the most feared hitters in the SEC a season ago. As a redshirt freshman. Hasn't quite put up the same numbers this year, but still equally feared.
Yes, still one of the most feared hitters across the country. And to me, a lot of it has to do with the way that the ball jumps off of her bat. She had a base hit in yesterday's ball game that had an exit velocity of over 80 miles per hour, or right on 80 miles per hour. An effortless power in which she swings the bat.
Does feel like she has found a little bit of a rhythm, though, over the last 2 weeks. Hits in 5 of the last 6 games. Riding a 3-game hit streak, had a double in game 1 on Friday night.
We had a long chat with hitting coach Bryce Neal before the ball game too, and it really just comes down to timing. So much of hitting is just being on time and finding that rhythm with your swing. And because Tori Edwards is somebody that is so strong, she doesn't have to have a ton of movement with her swing to still produce that type of power. So for her, it comes down to timing, just trying to be on time with these pitches. but you're still going to see teams pitch around her because they know that power is still there. Regardless of the numbers, for a lot of coaches, it probably doesn't even matter what she's hitting, but because they know her swing, because they know the power that she brings, they're still going to be very careful with how they throw to her.
Like there. Upstairs on a full count pitch from Barry, first base runner aboard today for LSU.
And a lot of changeups too. You're going to continue to see a lot of off speeds. I really think we're going to see a ton of off speeds from both of these pitchers throughout the rest of today's ball game. But when you give up those free passes, what it does now is it passes the baton to the next batter in the lineup. Can you step up and come through with that timely hit? And now Macy Bergeron is going to get her chance against Janae Berry.
Last year, Bergeron and Edwards were known as the Smash Sisters. Accounted for over half the team's home runs. As you see there, not the same power numbers or average this year for Bergeron, but still a very dangerous hitter as she is brushed back. And she too, Maddie, like Tori Edwards, has found a little bit of a rhythm over the last couple of weeks. Hits in 6 of her last 8 games. (2-0) misses high.
And she's got herself in a really good 3-0 count here. But to your point, Matt, about the timing, she's kind of changed her rhythm in which she gets ready to see the pitches. Before, she almost had a bit of a leg kick. She would hover that front leg. Now you're going to see her put that foot down really early before that pitcher goes to release that ball. You see just how much she's changed her front leg just to try to adjust and be on time. Quite simply, just be on time. I know, much harder than it sounds, but the keys to hitting is you got to be on time, and everybody's going to have just a different way that they go about it.
Hard hit, snared it short by Beal, flipped to second, not in time. May have pulled Serenity Trice off the bag. Why, what a stop at shortstop by Beal, perhaps preventing Edwards from going first to third.
I tell you what, Taylor Beal has been busy over in that shortstop position during this series. Look at the way that she just lays all out into that 5-6 hole. It's a good throw over to Serenity Trice, too, who I think just got it off the tip of the glove and just wasn't able to secure it. But what a play by Taylor Beal. We've seen her move to her left, move to her right, had a couple of hard hit line drives hit her way yesterday.
Char Loren, speaking of hard hits, that's a double play for Arizona, and it gets them out of the inning. The Wildcat defense has been elite this weekend.
Sometimes it takes an extra pitch, but ultimately Arizona ends up with the 5-4 double play to get themselves out of the inning.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which has hosted many NCAA regionals over the years and supers. Hard to believe that that is coming up. Good defensive play at third by Avery Hodge. One down. Both defenses showing up and showing out in game 3.
Just putting on a clinic, too, because Taylor Beal's really sneaky when she lays down that bunt for a base hit, but Avery Hodge over at third base was all over it. She made a great play in yesterday's ball game, too, throwing on the run all the way over to first base. She's got a really good sense of timing on some of those bunts and those ground balls that direction.
Addison Duke transferring in from Ole Miss. The program that ironically ended Arizona's season last year in the Tucson Regional went on to the program's first ever Women's College World Series, taking down Arkansas in Fayetteville in the Supers. So it can be done. However, statistically we know, Maddie, that if you're able to host a regional and able to host a super, your chances of making the Women's College World Series are that much better.
Well, and it's just the plain fact of home field advantage, right? You're in your bed, you're in your ballpark, all the familiar things that come with it. So yeah, you want to stay home for as long as possible, although these teams embrace the challenge of, even though maybe they don't get to host, everybody wants to make it to the Women's College World Series, so they're going to do whatever it takes to get back to Oklahoma City.
Duke, mile high pop up to center. And Lassiter is there, 2 down. The 30th annual WNBA draft, Monday night, 7 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The Dallas Wings have the first pick, followed by the Lynx, Storm, Mystics, and Sky, and then a couple of expansion teams in the top 7 as well. Coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 6:30 Eastern. Back to the top of the order for Reagan Shockey. Peyton Monticelli has motored through this Arizona lineup, has just allowed the lone walk.
I was thinking in between innings, and you and I were chatting too, that this could be the inning in the top of the third for this Arizona offense to kind of pick up on some of that momentum that they got on the defensive side of things, the inning-ending double play, and kind of carry that over to the offense. But Peyton Monticelli has had other plans out there. A couple of quick outs to get the 8 and 9 batters, and now 2 away facing the top of the order.
Bunt dropped down, scooped up at first by Tori Edwards, and Daniel covering the bag very smoothly. Just a 10-pitch inning for Monticelli. We will talk with Caitlin Lowe when we come back. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Back in Baton Rouge, Game 3 of this highly touted top 20 showdown between Arizona and LSU. We're joined by Wildcat head coach Caitlin Lowe. Coach, appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Why schedule such a crazy out-of-conference on-the-road series in late April?
Well, I mean, this is what we wanted, a super regional type of environment with a crowd that's not cheering for us, with all the conditions you can imagine. So we want to be tested, and we want to be tested before the postseason hits. So I think it's important for us to be in this environment.
And, Coach, one of the things that we talked about before the game was kind of taking some of that momentum, whether it's defensively or in the pitching circle, and translating it over to the offense. We're seeing your defense show out again today, but what is it going to take for them to bring it over to the offensive side?
We're doing a better job. We're clocked in the circle. We know what we want to do. I think we need to simplify it just a little bit more and get on time, put a good swing on it. But we're clocked into the moment and going to be better the next time around.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Well, certainly defense on both sides for LSU and Arizona has been the highlight of Game 3 so far as we get set to start the bottom of the third with no score.
Yeah, we saw Serenity Trice over at second base for Arizona make that great diving play in the 3-4 hole. A couple of hard line drives have made their way over to Jenna Sniffen. And on the LSU side of things, too, the way that they've been able to field the short game from Arizona, trying to do something a little bit different, has been impressive as well. Wondering if maybe that ball either got a piece of Sydney Stewart back behind the plate or home plate umpire Dave Reinecker. Either way, they're taking a second, make sure everybody's okay, and getting back after it.
So interesting. We've heard both coaches talk about desiring a super regional feel. The funny part of it is, in the leagues in which they play, you get a super regional feel almost every weekend, particularly for LSU in the SEC. Again, a top 10 strength of schedule. That's the 14th year in a row for the Tigers, and there is the first base hit of the game for either team. It comes off the bat of Allie Hutchins in the 8th spot for LSU.
Really nice job with Allie Hutchins' swing here to just stick with this pitch. That's one of these pitches that's coming in about 60 miles per hour, so kind of in between, and that's why she got it off the end of the bat. But that last bit of extension that she was able to get on that swing is what allowed her to drop that ball into left field rather than it being a ground ball to the left side.
Bunt dropped down by Avery Hodge, and the play is made on the run at first, but Hutchins moves over to second base.
Getting back to your point about both of these teams and the conferences that they play in, the reason to me that this series in particular feels a bit more like a super regional, I think, is the unfamiliarity aspect. When you've got Arizona coming in to play LSU, opponents that don't play each other often, that's why, to me at least, it feels more like the postseason.
Lassiter, that's going to be a really tough play. Thought about going to second base. Now she will. And that was well-executed base running. Good connectivity between Hutchins and Lassiter, understanding what Jayla was trying to do.
Well, Matt, you and I were talking about the timely hit, but we left out the timely bunt. They've just gone to the small ball here. Jayla Lassiter, with everybody playing a bit deep, utilizes her speed. And watch the base running. She is watching Janae Berry in the circle, and as soon as she sees Janae Berry move towards third base, immediately takes off towards second base to get over into scoring position. A little bit of indecision there by Jade Berry led to Jayla Lassiter being able to take an extra base.
Now a meeting in the mound for Arizona defense.
Yeah, it looked like Sydney Stewart kind of leading the charge there. Talking to assistant coach, hitting coach Amber Freeman, said that Sydney Stewart is somebody who has really stepped up in that leadership role for them, and you saw it right there. I'd imagine that conversation just came down to slowing down the game, not letting the game speed up in your mind, and a lot of it too comes down to just simply thinking about where you're going to go with the ball before it gets put in play.
Sierra Daniel now with 2 in scoring position and 1 down. Just 1 hit in the series but has led this LSU offense all year. Has been their most consistent hitter since the start of the year. This was her lone hit.
Sierra Daniel, or as Coach Beth Serena likes to call her, the hit queen, blasted this one off of the scoreboard. She just continues to be the person that steps up, whether they need a bunt in a situation or a home run. Saw her on the pitch prior to that one, trying to lay down a squeeze. We don't see a squeeze all that often, but I think it is one of the most difficult plays to defend when executed properly. You can see where the infielders are playing. Two corner infielders playing in a bit. Middle infielders playing right in the line.
She has hit .452 with runners in scoring position this year.
You can see where the outfield is shifted too. You've got Reagan Shockey playing a little bit over into that left center gap.
And a walk to load the bases. To pass the bat to Kylie Edwards, who too has been one of the hotter hitters in this LSU lineup.
If you are LSU, this is the exact person that you want up in this situation. And on the flip side, if you're Arizona, this is exactly the situation you did not want to find yourself in, especially in the bottom of the third inning, one away. Coach Christian Conrad going to come out and have a chat with his infield too, just knowing this situation. One of the big reasons why Kylie Edwards is exactly who LSU wants up in this situation comes down to an adjustment that she made with her swing. When you look back at the Tennessee series, and this is how she swung at the beginning of the year, her bat angle a little bit more up and down, and she's standing straight upright. Fast forward now to this weekend, her posture's a little bit more bent over, and her barrel is a bit more level in the zone. You can see it from the side angle here. On the left, her swing gets a bit steep, so she gets on top of those balls, whereas now she's getting that power. Her swing is level through the zone, and she's able to drive the ball to all parts of the field. She can do it all. She can hit home runs. She can hit base hits. She can do it all in one game, too. She hit for the cycle against Missouri, but that adjustment has made a huge difference for Kylie Edwards.
2 hits with the bases loaded this year, has driven in 3 runs. As the base is juiced with 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Has seen a lot of off speed from Janae Berry so far today.
And I'd keep throwing it too. I'd keep throwing more and more of those off speeds. Now, if you leave it up a bit too high, she did hit a hard line drive to Taylor Beal at shortstop. Her last at bat, and be trying to bury those changeups more down in the dirt. Just like that. And a good take by Kylie Edwards, too. Now you almost get the feeling Janae Berry has to come back with one of those curveballs or those screwballs. Can start to anticipate what you might see here as a hitter. Came back with another changeup. Kylie Edwards was trying to send that one to the moon.
Her 8 home runs tied for the team lead this year. 3 go-ahead home runs, leads the team. She has become their most timely hitter in many respects. That's why she's batting in the 3-hole. Two-two, laced into left field, drops for a base hit. It will score Hutchins. And the Tigers strike first again in game 3.
Pretty sure that at bat she saw nothing but changeups, and you saw her just continue to adjust and adjust and adjust. She was well out in front on an off-speed pitch. The pitch prior fouled it off, but then she was able to see another one. That posture, again, yes, she dives a little bit forward. Maybe she's a bit early on it, but because her hands stayed back just that split second is what allows her to get barrel to that ball to drive it out to left field and push across the first run of the ball game for LSU.
Alex Franklin comes up swinging. Action in the Arizona bullpen.
Jalen Adams getting loose over in the bullpen.
She has been their ace for an Arizona staff that lost 6 pitchers from last year's team. Totally rebuilt bullpen this year for Caitlin Lowe. Franklin had a 7-game hit streak snapped in Game 1 on Friday night. The middle of this LSU batting order has been on a tear in recent weeks. It's part of what has helped them pick up some eyebrow-raising wins. One against Oklahoma, first time in a long time that LSU had picked up a win against the Sooners. And now a chance potentially to sweep a top 15 Arizona team at home.
And there was a stretch there at the beginning of the year too where it was a bit of a struggle for LSU. They ended up losing to Nebraska, to Duke, to UCF, to UCLA, all in the same weekend down in Clearwater. So a lot of people around the country were wondering how were they going to bounce back. And then you get thrown into SEC play. They ended up getting swept by Tennessee in Knoxville. But they've continued to just chip away and play better and better every weekend.
And that catches Franklin on the arm. It'll drive in another run. 2-zip Tigers.
This offense just taking advantage here. You're seeing Janae Berry continue to throw tons and tons of off-speed pitches. That one gets away from her, hits her on the elbow, and with that hit by pitch, I believe we might see a pitching change here for the Wildcats.
It's her 7th hit batter of the season. Started the game so confidently. Second time through the order, however, LSU has found something with patience and small ball at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out when we return. A pitching change for Arizona. Back in Baton Rouge, Jalen Adams will pitch for the 2nd day in a row in this series. The transfer from Iowa, who now leads the Big 12 in victories with 16.
Comes in a tough situation too. She started game 2 yesterday. I thought she threw really well, went 6 innings, just gave up 3 hits. Those 3 earned runs. Going to see her work mid-60s, so good velocity. And to me, she works the edges of the zone very well. And by that, I mean she avoids the heart of the plate. So you're not going to see her miss down the middle very often. She has a wide variety of pitches too. Rise ball, drop ball, curve. And again, that off-speed pitch, which we've seen has been so important for these pitchers to try to keep batters off balance, as Janae Berry is going to be looking on in the dugout. Had a really good start to the game, but after some bunt for base hits, you saw LSU just string together consistent quality at-bats one after another.
Jalen Adams will take on Tori Edwards with the bases loaded. Edwards did single off Adams yesterday in game 2. Looks at strike 1. Eight home runs this year for Edwards, tied for the team lead after she hit 18 as a redshirt freshman last year. Good for 3rd in the SEC. It also tied a single-season program record at LSU. And that is why she continues to be respected by opposing pitchers this year.
Yeah, especially in this situation, too. With those home runs last year, 4 of them were grand slams.
Hard hit to third, tapped at the bag by Sniffen. Long throw in the stretch at first by Kez Lucas. 33rd double play of the season. A school record for the Wildcats, and it gets them out of the third.
The defense is really picking them up right now. Jenna Sniffen making a great play over at third, getting themselves out of the jam. Let's see if they can carry this defense momentum to the offense. Peyton Monticelli has been dealing so far today for the LSU Tigers, starting off with a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. That rise ball has been jumping all over the zone, and as we see her continue to get deeper and deeper into this game, you're seeing her utilize that changeup, that off-speed pitch, and she has been very efficient getting ahead of batters so far in the 3 innings. She already has 4 strikeouts, just the 1 walk on 42 pitches.
Transferring in from Oklahoma by way of Wisconsin. And as we alluded to earlier, this is a pitching staff that had to mix and match a little bit more this year. Sydney Berzon exiting in the offseason, transferring, ironically, to Oklahoma. And it was thought early in the year that, of course, Jaden Heavner would be the central piece. Tatum Clopton would rotate in, and then it was going to be a bit of a challenge for Beth to figure out who to mix and match where and when. Of course, we saw Jaden Heavner on night 1 go 7 innings. They've gotten tremendous pitching from CeCe Salora as this sort of pseudo Game 2 starter, and now Monticelli has emerged, Maddie, as a consistent third starting arm.
Well, like we talked about earlier today, too, I just like the fact that all the pitchers on this LSU staff do something just a little bit different.
Good play at shortstop by Kylie Edwards.
Tell you what, Matt, these infielders just putting on an absolute clinic on these ground balls. This one's a tough one, too, because it's kind of that in-between hop off the bat of Serenity Trice. So as a shortstop, you have no other choice but to just go after it, because if you hang back and wait for that hop, Serenity's going to beat that out all day long. So you have no other choice but to charge it and hope that ball ends up in your glove, and she made that one look very easy on what can be a very difficult mid-hop on the run.
Transferring in from Mississippi State. Has starred in her first season at LSU. Outside to Sydney Stewart, somebody who can get something going for Arizona in the 3 spot. like this. Crushed to deep left field. Forget about it. A moonshot off the bat of Sydney Stewart. Her 15th home run of the year.
How about that swing for offensive momentum? Sydney Stewart getting every single bit of this softball and driving it over the berm in left field. This ball coming off of her bat, 79 miles per hour. Look at how high up in the zone this pitch is. That is something that Coach Amber Freeman and I talked about before the game. Her ability, even as tall as she is, to still be able to get her hands inside of pitches that are up and inside, that is exactly how you do it.
Reigning second-team All-American, putting together another All-American type of season is Sydney Stewart, and keeping Arizona in striking distance here in Game 3 when they've already lost 2 games in the series.
With the way that the wind's blowing today, I thought it was going to be very difficult for a ball to leave the yard, and that one
Not that ball.
Yeah, that one didn't stand a chance of staying in the yard. There are those flags, pretty much blowing straight in, too.
Straight in, 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts. Didn't matter on that hit.
Wow.
That will catch the outer half to Telle Jennings. Three balls and a strike. One down, nobody on in a 2-1 game. Jennings in the air to left field, drifting back and making the catch. Char Lorenz, 2 away. Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day, and we have a very special ESPN telecast as the Mets and the Dodgers finish up their 3-game series. It's Joe Buck, it's Ron Darling, Oral Hershiser, all on the call. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern with the Baseball Tonight crew, and Shohei Ohtani is expected to start. Two down for Jenna Sniffen. Caitlin Lowe, the Arizona head coach, told us she wanted to see grit from her team today. Learning something about themselves with all the new pieces in a super regional-esque series in April. A lot to be gained from this, with a true super regional still a month away.
And this is a team that has faced their battles throughout the year. Started off playing a 3-game set against Oklahoma, first weekend of the season. And when you look at some of the scores that they've had, even in the first game of that series against Oklahoma, they ended up winning that game, but Oklahoma got out to a big lead. So it doesn't matter the score. This is a team that is going to battle. They are going to claw. They are going to try to fight their way back in every single ball game, and we're seeing that here today.
1-2 to Sniffen. Right off the glove of Monticelli. Gathers and pitches it to first. 2-1 game after the home run. We will chat with Beth Torino when we return. This might be the longest home run we've seen this year.
I think that ball is still traveling out towards the parking lot beyond left field. How about that for home run number 15 for Sydney Stewart?
Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Gorgeous day for Game 3 of a top 20 showdown between Arizona and LSU. Tigers have already taken the first 2 games. They lead Game 3 2-1. We're joined by their head coach, Beth Torina. Coach, always appreciate your time. Your team's played a ton of 1-run and 2-run games this year. What's it going to take for you guys to finish out this 1-run game here in Game 3?
Well, with Arizona's offense, there's really not a number that you feel comfortable with. It's one of the best offenses in the country. They've done such a great job this year of just having a balanced group, right? They have speed, they have power, they hit for average, they can do it all. So I don't know if there's a number up there I'd feel comfortable about. Like, we got to just keep scoring.
For as good as this Arizona offense is, your pitching has done a great job all weekend of really shutting them down. What do you think has been the key to success, not just for Peyton Monticelli, who's out there in the circle today, but your pitching staff on the whole this entire weekend?
This pitching staff has just worked really hard. Just each one of them owning what they do well. And like in combination, this group is really tough. And I'm super proud of them. You know, I think they were a little slow starting, but I think now they really understand who they are. And I've been really, really proud of how hard they've worked and the effort that they've put in. And honestly, just today, reflecting back on yesterday and the teal and all of the things about this place, just a lot of gratitude today for this community, for all those that came out and supported it and wore the teal, and just so many cool things about this place and this program. And, you know, as the legendary Coach Gerard would say, it's a beautiful day in the capital city.
That it is. Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another great crowd, as usual, here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Park, one of the great venues in college softball. Doesn't matter if it's a non-conference or a big weekend series in the SEC, they pack this park.
And you talk about Coach Torina and the feeling of gratitude that she has for this weekend and the Go Teal Walk yesterday morning that Arizona and their team also participated in. It's all for Alex weekend across the Southeastern Conference, and even teams beyond have joined in to support. And remembering Alex Wilcox and the impact that she didn't just have on the Mississippi State program, but the softball world as a whole. It's really just one of my favorite weekends, too, out of the entire year to see the softball community coming together for such a great cause. And last year, being on the call too, this weekend I was down here in Baton Rouge this weekend last year as well, and Tiffany Green and I got to participate in the Go Teal Walk, and it was just really cool to, one, be a part of such an incredible event, and you still see shirts being worn around the stadium, but to see the names of family members and friends and loved ones that had been affected by ovarian cancer, and just walking around and seeing each and every one of those names is definitely a memory that I'm going to hold dear to my heart.
Great play in left field. Addison Duke, who made a name for herself coming off the bench defensively last year at Ole Miss, making plays like that, enjoying being a first-time starter.
I think these outfielders are tired of us just talking about the infielders. They want some defensive love out in the outfield, too. How about that play by Addison Duke? It all comes down to the read off of the bat. How quickly can you get your feet moving in the direction of that line drive? And she played that one perfectly.
2 gone in the 4th. Oh, 1 count to Allie Hutchins. Off the end of the bat, at short, it's Beal, and the throw pulls Kez Lucas off the bag. A rare defensive miscue from the Arizona defense.
Looked like you could see her kind of tapping her chest saying, my bad on that throw. She got to this ground ball in plenty of time. I'm wondering if she just didn't get a good grip on the softball when she went to go pick it up. Looks like it's maybe up on her fingertips, and so because of that, sails a bit up and arm side. A very rare miscue that you see for this Arizona defense.
Extends the inning for Avery Hodge. Heard Beth Torina talk about the importance of continuing to score runs against this Arizona offense, which has been not only one of the best in the Big 12, but the best in the country this year. LSU has lost their last 4 one-run games. Flared into left field. It'll be caught by Addison Duke. And so Jalen Adams pitches around the 2-out error. Arizona has a chance to tie the game when we come back in the top of the 5th. The Go Teal Ovarian Cancer Awareness Foundation was founded by LSU head coach Beth Torina back in 2013, and every year they have a Go Teal walk around one of their series during softball season. The Go Teal walk was yesterday for Game 2 against Arizona, and as you can see, it was very well attended. One of the great philanthropic organizations here in Baton Rouge, and of course founded by Beth Torina, and now in connection with the All for Alex campaign after Alex Wilcox lost her battle with cancer in 2018, a former member of Mississippi State.
Just such a wonderful way to, one, remember the memory of Alex Wilcox and how much she meant to the softball community, but again, to see the entire community coming together to support such a great cause, and everybody wearing their teal and participating in the Go Teal walk too. It's the one time where these softball players can put softball and competitiveness aside and join together arm in arm for a wonderful cause, and to remember such an incredible human being like Alex Wilcox.
Beth's mother, Betty, is a 13-year survivor of cancer, currently lives right here in Baton Rouge with her husband, Steve. They regularly come to the games, and they are in attendance again today. And they've been treated to a great Game 3. Peyton Monticelli, just the lone blemish, a solo home run given up to Sydney Stewart. Otherwise, Maddie, she has been motoring.
You know what? I wasn't sure what we were going to get out of today's game, just because both of these teams have great offenses. They have great pitching staffs. They have great defenses. So we just weren't sure what we were going to be in store for today. But so far, it's been really good on the defensive side of things and the pitching side of things. And a lot of credit to Peyton Monticelli for the way that she's been able to mix in that changeup to shut down this offense.
And a leadoff walk drawn by Emma Cavanaugh. Well, ESPN is now the home of MLB.TV. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLBTV. Kez Lucas comes to the plate Trying to drop down a bunt and push Emma Kavanaugh over. That's been one of the struggles this weekend for the Wildcats, getting the leadoff runner aboard.
And even the times that they've been able to get people on base, they just haven't been able to bring them in to score.
Lucas flares it foul. It'll get out of play. Cats have hit just .218 in the series. They've been worse with runners in scoring position.
A lot of runners being left on base for the Wildcats in this series so far.
16 total. And it's unexpected, really, for a Arizona offense that has been so good this year. He talks a little bit about some of the wins that LSU has. Arizona 2 wins over Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Stanford. They have put it together against some of the best competition. Have been stifled a bit by LSU. That's a great play on the run. In left by Char Lorenz. Her throw a little late to Tori Edwards. First out of the inning.
Nice play here, too. You can see Char Lorenz having to come in really quickly. Tries to double her off over at first base. A pretty close throw over at first, too, for as deep as she was in the outfield. Had to charge that one to make sure that it didn't fall in the grass.
Matt Schumacher, Maddie Shipman with you. You were a great hitter. You played on teams with great hitters. You ever recall a series where your team had been really hot, but for whatever reason in that series, you just hadn't quite got it going? And if so, how did you get out of it?
Yeah, there were times, too, where you're just facing pitching that is just dealing, and you're seeing a bunch of different types of arms. And so to me, it comes down to how quickly can Arizona try to make some of these adjustments against the pitching that they're facing today.
Could be a double play ball here. Daniel flips to Edwards. Throw to first, not in time, despite the stretch by Tori. 2 gone.
Talking to Arizona before this game, too, a couple of things that stood out to me were maybe they took too long to adjust to the drop balls that they were seeing from CC Salora yesterday. And watching Salora pitch, she didn't even bust out her changeup until the 5th inning. And that shows you that she was effective with just using the drop ball. She didn't need to throw it any earlier in that game. So how quickly can you get your barrel on top?
Flared into left. Lorenz makes the play in foul territory, and Monticelli continues her efficient start through 5 innings. 2-1 Tigers.
All the sacrifices have led them to the NCAA semifinals. We are one step closer to crowning a national champion. Coverage begins Thursday on ESPN2.
5 of the 8 teams competing Thursday in the semifinals are from the SEC, including LSU. The Tigers have the 2026 SEC Gymnast of the Year, Kaylin Chio. Saturday's championship is at 4 Eastern over on ABC. And now, Matt, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch Kaylin Chio compete, but just brace yourself for perfect 10s. I believe she's up to 12 perfect 10s on the year, and I'm almost losing track of how many consecutive sticks she's gotten on the vault week after week. So impressive.
Did you ever do gymnastics?
I did for a brief period of time, and I enjoyed it. My kids love participating in gymnastics. We always have gymnastics on the television at home, along with softball and baseball. I've said this before, I need more screens.
You do.
Especially this time of year.
I've been to your house once before. There were split boxes on every TV. Good piece of hitting there up the middle to start off the 5th for Jayla Lassiter. Second time aboard today for the LSU leadoff hitter.
She's hit the ball hard today as well. She hit a line drive out to center field in her first at bat. This time it just gets past the diving glove of Taylor Beal over at shortstop. Looks like a curveball that was well outside. Gets it a bit off the end of the bat, but LSU is going to be thrilled that their leadoff batter is on base here in the bottom of the 5th, trying to tack on some insurance runs.
Sierra Daniel, Kylie Edwards, Alex Franklin all due up this inning, with Lassiter reaching. It's been the hottest part of LSU's lineup. It's been one of the hottest portions of any lineup in the SEC, frankly, over the last 2 weeks or so. And Beth Torina told us coming into the series that this is a team with 11 new faces that is still battling the feeling of almost but not enough in one-run games. Won a bunch of them early in the non-conference against lesser competition. Have not quite gotten over the mountaintop against ranked opponents, against SEC foes.
She said that when you look at some of the games, whether it's in the series against Oklahoma or Texas A&M, a lot of those games come down to 3 plays or 3 pitches that could swing the game in either direction, which of course leads to those one-run ball games that LSU has been on the losing end of. So what can they do to come through with that timely piece of hitting or make that pitch in a bases-loaded situation? I really do think that this weekend you've kind of seen that all come together. Now, if I'm being picky, maybe you would, of course, love to see more offense and more hits being put on the board. But when you have that timeliness and you're getting the shutdown pitching in the circle and your defense has been playing well behind them, too, you don't need to tack on 10, 11 hits in a game. You just need that one in that pivotal moment.
Daniel lines it to third. That's a double play. The 34th of the season for the Wildcats. It's Jenna Sniffen again in the hot corner.
Putting on a clinic on how to turn a double play. A lot of these are hard-hit line drives. This one to Jenna Sniffen's left. She was actually leaning a bit right, and so she had to recover, goes back to the left side, snags it, and fires it across the diamond for the 5-3 double play.
Wipes off the base runner. 2 gone now for Kylie Edwards in a one-run game in the bottom of the 5th. LSU, of course, saw their season come to an end last year in a couple of one-run games in this ballpark against Southeastern Louisiana. Made the program rethink how they do things, rethink how they prepare, and get ready for postseason. And that's why this series means so much to both teams.
And I think, too, for both of these teams, when you look at the way that they've played, you're going to have days where maybe your offense can't put up 10 hits, or maybe your pitching gives up a few more runs or a few more walks than they normally do, or maybe you're having an off day defensively. But what can you do to battle through and still come out with a win in those games?
Edwards could drop for a base hit. It does in front of the diving Telle Jennings for a 2-out base knock, her second base hit of the day.
And sometimes you just find the right spot on the grass. Kylie Edwards gives this one off of the end of the bat, and it drops right in front of the diving Telle Jennings, who coming in from right field. Great backup, though, by Reagan Shockey to get this one on the first hop. Fired it over to first base just to make sure that Kylie Edwards didn't try to sneak on over to second.
She has hit .367 this year with 2 outs. Best on the team, and extends the inning now for Alex Franklin. One of the great stories out of the transfer portal is Kylie Edwards this year. Meanwhile, Franklin is a new face for LSU in many respects. Only played 2 games last year and had been an infielder her entire career. They had a need in the outfield with injuries and some pieces moving around, and she emerged in preseason and has not looked back.
Started off the year, too, with a couple of triples, I believe, in opening weekend. That's one way to make a statement for the first weekend of the year. Showing off the power and the speed. Working her way in the lineup, batting right in between Kylie Edwards and Tori Edwards, too. An important piece in this LSU offense.
1-2 jam, diving play, won't get there in time. Sniffin with a good effort.
She did everything she could to try to get to that foul ball, knowing that every single out and every single play is precious. Look at Lauren Lappin coming out of the dugout, too, assistant coach for Arizona. Sometimes you just can't tame those former softball player instincts. You just want to go out there and grab the ball. She had a good beat on it, too. She would have had it.
Will your players to make the play.
Yes.
1-2 pitch to Franklin. Foul territory right side, tracking it Lucas. Speaking of coaches who are former players, I know you think the 2 staffs plus you would make a really good alumni team out here today.
I think that I would be a great supporter up in the booth. Maybe I could call that game, but yeah, you can have Coach Beth Torina in the circle, Taylor Pleasance out at shortstop, Sandra Simmons holding down the outfield with Caitlin Lowe, Amber Freeman back behind the plate. There's Taylor Pleasance over at first base, Lauren Lappin, of course.
And you could have Mike Candrea and Yvette Gerard coach the teams because they're here in attendance today.
It's an all-star team.
There you go. Maybe we'll play that one after Game 3. There's Coach Gerard hanging in the shadows along the first base line.
She's probably still talking strategy over there, too.
No doubt about it. Backhanded by Beal. Gathers and fires for the 3rd out of the inning. Arizona down to its final 6 outs at the plate. Can their bats get going? Game 3 of OU Texas coming your way next on ESPN. Reese Atwood, the active career RBI leader in the NCAA, trying to help the Longhorns avoid the sweep. Of course, Texas, the reigning national champs. Oklahoma won it all in 2024. A great rivalry and series that we finally get regularly again in the regular season, now that Oklahoma and Texas are back in the SEC together.
It's been all about the home runs for Oklahoma in that series, too. Gabby Garcia and Kendall Wells with a home run yesterday. And congratulations to Kendall Wells, too, with her 31st home run of the season. That is a new NCAA record for freshmen with that 31st home run.
31.
Yeah, imagine that. 31 home runs, and it's not even the end of April yet, which is insane.
They haven't even played 40 games yet.
Ella Parker and Isabella Emmerling also with a couple of home runs in Game 1.
The next target is 34 by the great Jocelyn Allo.
When you're on the same graphic as Jocelyn Allo, you know you're doing something well, right?
As a freshman.
Yes, as a freshman. One of the best hitters the game has ever seen, and now we get to watch Kendall Wells. Lauren Chamberlain, too, an incredible home run hitter for Oklahoma. Something about the home runs over at Oklahoma, right? With those Sooners.
Also, something just feels right, getting a full 3-game series in the regular season, Texas and Oklahoma. That should be an every-year thing. And for a long time, we didn't get it, except in the postseason potentially, because, of course, the teams didn't always have the same schedules line up every single year. One-two.
And with the new additions to the teams to the Southeastern Conference, not every team, to your point, Matt, plays everybody every single year, because there's just purely not enough weekends in the season.
But there are certain rivalry series that need to be reserved.
Yes.
Backhanded it short by Kylie Edwards, and the throw pulls Torrey off the bag. Oh, great stop.
What a play. What a play. I know she doesn't end up getting the out here, but look at the way, how quickly she jumps over to her right, slides down on her right knee, the spin move to come back up. She just went for the sidearm throw and just got away from her a little bit. She didn't have time to really set her feet anymore because of the speed of Reagan Shockey running down that baseline. Off the bat, I thought that was a base hit all the way, so an incredible effort by Kylie Edwards to even make that one close over at first base.
That is just the third leadoff base hit of the series for Arizona. Can they do something with it here in the 6th? Top of the order at the plate for the Cats, trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of LSU.
Well, and this has been the area of the offense, too, that has done a good job for Arizona coming into today. Between Serenity Trice and Reagan Shockey, they were batting .375 combined. So they've been getting on base. It's just what do the batters do after they get on? Now thinking ahead, too, you don't want to have yourself in a position where you have to throw pitches to Sydney Stewart either.
Kylie Edwards, that sidearm sling is in time. Shockey moves into scoring position, 1 down.
Pretty good result there, too, being able to at least get 1 out over at first base. And I was thinking, you do not want yourself in a position, if you're LSU, with runners on first and second, nobody away, with Sydney Stewart stepping up to the plate. Looks like we're going to have a review of that play over at first base, too. Watching it in real time, I thought she got her. So we'll take another look over at first.
Caitlin Lowe challenged that from the Arizona dugout. She must have had a different angle, seen something differently than we did. I agree with you. I thought bang, bang play, but that the throw clearly beat the runner.
Let's see, when does that glove start to close around the ball? It's actually a lot closer when I look at it in slow motion, too. Let's see from this angle. Yeah, I think she's out. very, very close.
Trice has great speed.
And for as close of a play as it is, you're in the top of the 6th inning.
May as
haven't
well.
used either one of your challenges, you might as well go for it. But I do think that this one is going to be confirmed as an out on the field, which was the call initially.
Assuming this is confirmed, 1 out with a runner in scoring position. Sydney Stewart coming to the plate, who hit a moonshot the last time she was up. Do you pitch to her
No.
if you're Peyton Monticelli?
I'm not pitching to her. I'm just going to go ahead and put her over there at first base. I'd even be tempted to, even if Serenity Trice ended up being safe over at first base.
You would load the bases?
I think I would load the bases. I might not intentionally walk her, but I would do one of the intentional walks to see if she could get herself out.
Sure.
Because she could change the game with one swing, especially if you have 2 runners on, and not to say that Telle Jennings couldn't do the same thing. But I think you've got a fly out and a strikeout from Telle Jennings so far in this ball game against Monticelli. I wouldn't pitch to Sydney Stewart.
After further review, the call in the field is confirmed. That is Arizona's first challenge.
So first base will be open if Peyton Monticelli wants to put Sydney Stewart there.
I'd put her on.
And
We'll see.
heed the advice of Madison
It's not
Shipman.
my call.
She does lead the team in homers and walks this year. Hit her 15th home run last time up. Has drawn 30 walks, including one in the first inning. This looks like we're trending towards the old intentional, unintentional.
That's what I think, too. And it'd be different if she had hit a home run maybe on your 2nd or 3rd best pitch, but she took a rise ball that probably would have been called for a ball up in the zone, which is Monticelli's best pitch. Now she goes after her there. I think it looked like she was telling herself to kind of slow things down a bit, maybe getting a little too excited to hit that ball out of the park, but she just launched that rise ball up and inside her last at bat.
Hitters count to Stewart. And the second walk of the game issued to the great power hitting Sydney Stewart. The 30th annual WNBA draft is Monday night, 7 Eastern, right here on ESPN. Coverage begins at 6:30 with WNBA Countdown. And Beth Tarina is out of the LSU dugout. We are going to see a pitching change, and it'll be Jaden Heavner, who went the distance on Friday night, replacing Peyton Monticelli. We will take a break and return with 2 on and 1 out. Go ahead, run aboard for Arizona. Jaden Heavner prior to this year had not really ever spent any time as a reliever. A true starter, the ace of this staff, but as the season has worn along, Maddie has sort of edged herself into that role at times when LSU has needed it.
But I think this is the benefit of getting the performance that LSU did out of CC Salora yesterday. You have Jaden Heavner throw in game 1 on Friday, so she doesn't have to throw yesterday, so you do have her at your disposal to be able to come in these specific situations. And I'd imagine, one, given Jaden Heavner's success, that's one of the reasons why Coach Beth Torina is bringing her in right now too. But also, you've got the lefty-lefty matchup in this situation where Arizona is trying to fight their way back into the game. Probably the best chance that they've had so far. And you bring in the lefty to face the lefty Jennings. But a great job by Monticelli to shut down this offense.
Ball gets away from Bergeron. And Shockey moves up to third. So now the tying run, one bag away for Arizona in the 6th.
There were a couple of times in game 1 where it felt like Tele Jennings kind of swung out of the zone against Heavner.
Up the middle. Heavner just goes to first. Interestingly, the throw comes home, not in time with a tag as Bergeron. I thought Heavner had a chance to go to second, then to first with a double play, still in order, and instead wanted to look Shockey back to the bag at third, and now Beth Torina appears is going to challenge this call at home plate.
LSU wants to challenge the safe call at home. This play is under further review.
So a couple of things to unpack here. To your point, Matt, I thought for a second Heavner was going to throw the ball to third base. I thought she would have had Reagan Shockey hung out over at third, and as soon as she released that ball over to first base, that's when Reagan Shockey took off towards home. And from that view and from our view back here behind the booth, I thought she got her left hand in around that tag. Because she was diving in head first, you have a bit more control of your body, you have more control of where you end up swiping that home plate. Let's take another look at it here. Bergeron set up in front of the plate, gets the throw. I think she's safe. Safe by about 7 or 8 inches on that play.
And after it, Bergeron shaken up a little bit. She's dealt with a host of injuries, many of them coming at the beginning of the season, finally feeling healthy. You hope that's nothing more than a nick that she can continue to play through. But great heads-up base running by Reagan Shockey. Took the look from Heavner, and then as soon as Heavner spun to throw to first, she was down the third base line.
Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20, but I wonder how that play would have looked had Jaden Heavner just thrown the ball over to third base. And given, too, that she's left-handed, so she already has that angle going over towards third base. She decides to go to first, and Shockey, look at this dive, too. Such an athletic dive to avoid the tag, touch home plate. Great call by Dave Reinecker, too, back behind the plate. He seemed to be all over it. From at least our views that I've seen, I think this call is going to stay confirmed on the field as safe. I have been wrong a time or two on reviews, though. Good to see
Bergeron
Macy back there.
In the game, at least for now. Arizona had struggled to find that timely hit, that timely contact to get a few more runs across the board. They had scored just 1 run in each of the first 2 games of this series, falling in both to LSU. And while that wasn't a base hit, it was hard struck by Jennings. And she did her job, put the ball in play and make LSU's defense make a decision. Here's the call after the challenge.
After further review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is safe at home. That is LSU's first challenge.
And taking you back even a pitch prior to that ball being put in play, that pass ball that allowed Reagan Shockey to get to third base. Just the little things in the moment don't feel all that big, but all of a sudden you look at how that affected the next play, and all of a sudden Reagan Shockey is able to score on a ball that never even left the pitcher's circle.
And now the go-ahead run in scoring position. Sydney Stewart stands at second base, but they're going to pinch run for her as Jenna Sniffen comes to the plate. Molly Daly, the pinch runner at second base.
We've seen Jenna Sniffen make some great plays over at third today. Had a nice double on a drop ball down and away off of Cece Salora in yesterday's ball game.
Has reached base in 12 consecutive games. Has yet to find first today, however. In addition to her defense, which you just alluded to, offensively, batting average is up nearly 70 points from her freshman year. 3-1. Runs inside from Heavner.
With that walk, too, she's going to extend that on-base streak that she's got going on.
Peyton Monticelli feeling it a little bit over the first base dugout. Pitched such a great game. Really had the one mistake. A solo homer to Sydney Stewart. Now Macy Bergeron seemingly in some discomfort here again after that slide at home by Reagan Shockey to tie the game at 2.
Looks like we might see a change here. A round of applause for Macy. Never want to see that with the player coming off the field. I do hope that she's all right as she heads back into the dugout.
Looks like Char Lorenz is going to come in from left field and take over for Bergeron behind the plate. 3-year starter at catcher, Bergeron, and as we mentioned, has dealt with injuries over the course of her career, but such a warrior. Has played through most of them. Doesn't it feel, Maddie, like the momentum of this game has swung back to the other side?
It really it feels like it's on Arizona's side, and really I think it started with that base hit to start things off by Reagan Shockey, top of the order, getting things done yet again. Really tough to see Macy walking all the way over into the clubhouse there. Really hope that she's going to be okay. Best wishes going her way.
So Char Lorenz will take over behind the plate, the Louisville transfer, who played exclusively in the outfield last year, though she was a catcher for much of her youth career and through travel ball. Has gotten some innings behind the plate this year, and they thought they would use her in that way to just spell Macy Bergeron at times, give her a breather in some of their midweek games. Meanwhile, Maddox McKee is out in left field. And now for LSU, it's just about getting out of this inning without allowing any more runs to cross. Tied at 2 in the top of the 6th. Tigers have already won the series. Going for the sweep today against Arizona. But a game that still has a lot of meaning for both teams. Postseason implications on the line for both. They really are neck and neck in a lot of the rankings that the NCAA committee uses. Line drive in the left is off the glove of Maddox McKee. Arizona takes the lead. 2 runs come in to score. 4-2 Cats.
It never fails in this game, Matt, that as soon as you enter a ball game, you know the ball is going to find you. And the ball finds Maddox McKee out there in left field. She decides to dive for this one, but because it was hit so hard, 74 miles per hour off of the bat, had a bit of topspin to it too, so it dives straight down towards the grass. And Maddox McKee's not able to come up with it. And that's going to allow 2 more Wildcat runs to come across, and that is the piece of timely hitting that Arizona has been missing, and it comes off of the bat of Emma Kavanaugh.
What a roller coaster inning for LSU. We will have another change in the circle. Jaden Heavner heated. LSU loses the lead in the 6th. CC Salora, who went the distance yesterday, all 7 innings in a victory for LSU, will now be tasked with coming in to close out the 6th.
She threw incredibly well in yesterday's ball game, really working that heavy drop ball to both sides of the plate. You can see her line, 7 innings pitched, did give up 7 hits, had a couple of strikeouts, but just the 1 walk given up. She's somebody, too, that is going to induce contact, but it's ground ball contact because of that heavy drop ball coming in. High 50s to both sides of the plate. You're seeing her mix in that rise ball a bit more too, and that changeup, which we mentioned earlier, was a pitch she didn't even need to use till the 5th inning.
If you're just joining us, LSU led 2-0 early. Sydney Stewart for Arizona hit a solo homer in the 4th to make it a 2-1 game. That's how we began the 6th. Peyton Monticelli was cruising, gave up the first leadoff base hit of the day to Arizona. Couple of walks sprinkled in, and then a sinking line drive into left field, driving in 2 runs after a defensive change due to an apparent injury to LSU catcher Macy Badgeron. We have had all kinds of stuff going on here in the 6th.
It's been a wild top of the 6th inning,
yes,
for sure.
3rd LSU arm used this half inning. 2-2 count to Kez Lucas. Foul ball. This is one of those series that both teams may look back on come selection time in May as the series that helped tip them to hosting a regional. Big strikeout for CC Salora. Can LSU battle back, show some grit? Down 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. For the third straight day in this series, LSU jumped out to an early lead. Credit to Arizona. They wanted to see some chippiness, some grit from their team after going down 2-0 in the series. Caitlin Lowe got it in the top of the sixth. And this is why this series means so much, Maddie Shipman, because of how close these teams are in terms of record, RPI, strength of schedule, and other metrics that the committee will use come selection time.
You want to be the team that can say that they have a top 23-game series win against an opponent in the middle of April when it comes time for the selection committee making those decisions on where everybody goes.
Tori Edwards lines it into the mid of Jennings. One down, particularly an Arizona team that's second right now in the Big 12 behind only Texas Tech.
And I think, too, like we heard from Coach Caitlin Lowe earlier today, is this is why they schedule weekends like this. There's a controllable factor of the schedule outside of the conference schedule. And being able to bring in a team like Arizona, or if you're Arizona traveling on the road to LSU, can only help better prepare your team for the postseason.
Maddox McKee at the plate. Her first at bat. This would have been Macy Bergeron, but she exited the game with 2 outs in the top of the sixth. With an apparent injury, we have not seen her since.
And we don't want to speculate on what that could be. We just are sending our thoughts her way and hope for the best. Hope she's able to get back out there.
Be interesting to see how LSU responds here. Tigers, as we showed you earlier in the game, 4-4 in one-run games, as it was as we entered the sixth. They've lost their last 4. They've played in even more games decided by 2 runs or less. This team has been right there in so many of their top 25 games. Think back to the Texas A&M series. Beth Torina told us she felt like maybe they were 3 plays away from winning that series and even winning the Oklahoma series. Full count to McKee. Mile high pop-up foul territory. It'll get out of play.
It's interesting, too, when we compare these two teams and just kind of look at their overall resumes. Their RPI is very similar. KPI, DSR, all those rankings, they're pretty much neck and neck. And to see how they've kind of gotten there in different ways, even though they've both played an extremely tough schedule. When you look at the scores for LSU throughout the year, to your point, Matt, 2-1 games, 1-0 games, 3-1 games, 5-3 games.
McKee left side tracking it. Beal, foul territory, second out.
Now on the other side of things, when you look at Arizona's schedule, you've got, they ended up losing game 2 to Oklahoma 21-3, but they won game 1 against Oklahoma 11-6, and you see an 11-2 score, 11-1. The scores are kind of all over the place, and yet they still have both kind of found themselves in the exact same spot here in the middle of April.
And just saw Macy Bergeron there resurface from the clubhouse, standing in the bullpen. All of her catcher's gear is off. And again, just to re-echo Maddie's sentiments, hope for the best for her, whatever the diagnosis is. Somebody who's been a warrior all throughout her career at LSU, has started a ton of games behind the plate. Good piece of 2-out hitting by Char Lorenz, who is now catching for LSU after the exit of Macy Bergeron.
Char Lorenz, you can see how excited she is. Finally gets a ball to drop. She's hit a couple of hard line drives today. They just have happened to go right to these Arizona defenders. Hit a line drive to Jenna Sniffen over at third base in her first at bat, and a line drive out to Addison Duke in left field in her second at bat. That time, the ball finds its way to the grass.
In steps Allie Hutchins, looks at a strike. Jalen Adams has steadied the ship for Arizona. Not that they didn't get great pitching from Janae Berry. She just ran into a little bit of trouble in the third with some free passes. It's been Adams' game ever since.
And this is an Arizona pitching staff, too, they're not going to go out there and strike out 10, 11, 12 batters in a game, but they're more of the pitch to contact and trust their stuff type of pitching staff because, one, they have a great defense behind them, but two, they can move the ball through the zone.
High fly ball, right field. Jennings has a beat on it, and that will end the sixth. Final inning coming in Baton Rouge. 2-run lead for Arizona. Boy, this game really turned on its head, Maddie, in the sixth. Arizona just put the ball in play, challenged this LSU defense.
When you can see the ball not even leaving the infield until this double off of the bat of Emma Kavanaugh. But before that, it was a little bit of small ball. Just put the ball in play. Nice play by Kylie Edwards, too, on that first ground ball off of the bat of Reagan Shockey. Just the speed ends up beating it out, and that ultimately ended up being the catalyst for Arizona to put up 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning.
Arizona trailed 2-1 entering the 6th. They plated 3 runs last half inning. They lead at 4-2 as we enter the final inning in Baton Rouge.
I can't help but laugh a little bit when I look at these lines, too. Typically, you think if you have more hits, you're going to score more runs, but this series almost seems like the battle of the teams that you want to be the team that has the least amount of hits because you end up winning the game.
LSU won 4-1 yesterday with 3 hits. This is laced into center. Well tracked by Jayla Lassiter. And over the shoulder grab. First out of the inning.
Taylor Beal absolutely smokes this ball. This pitch is up a little bit more about belt high inside, and she ends up hitting it all the way out to center field. Great play by Jayla Lassiter out there in center, and Cece Salora is absolutely loving it.
That's a home run somewhere else today. With
Probably,
the wind
yes, with the
in,
wind.
Dead from center field. Well played by Jayla Lassiter.
Yeah, she made that look easy, too, because that ball was smoked out to center field.
We've had gusts of 15 to 20 miles an hour right in to the batter's box. Grace Jenkins pinch hitting here in the 9 spot. Former Big East Player of the Year at UConn. Was an All-American catcher there, transferred to Arizona knowing she would not catch this year. because of Sydney Stewart returning. Desired to come here anyway and be around some of the elite players in the game.
That was another thing, too, that we heard from Caitlin Lowe is that team-first mentality from a lot of the players on her team, whether they were newcomers to the team or transfers coming in, just the team willing to do whatever it's going to take for them to win ball games this year.
Check swing went around on the pitch from CC Salora, 2-2.
Take a look at the location of this pitch, too. Working that drop ball in on the hands. Jenkins even holds up so much, or tries to, that she loses the grip on the bat.
Good pitch. Salora sinking in. Second out of the inning. Well, Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day. We've got a very special ESPN telecast for you as the Mets and the Dodgers finish up their 3-game set. Joe Buck, Ron Darling, Oral Hershiser have the call. Coverage begins 9 Eastern with baseball tonight. And Shohei is scheduled to start. Off the end of the bat and off the glove of Hodge, and Reagan Shockey is going to beat that out almost every day.
Somehow still Kylie Edwards ended up getting behind this ball. Looks like it ricochets off of Avery Hodge just a bit. Yep, looked like it hit her foot, went right into the glove of Kylie Edwards. Nice job by Reagan Shockey. She has that split grip, has that barrel control, and slaps it over to the left side.
It's her second infield single of the day.
That's what she does. She, in Caitlin Lowe's words, tactically places the ball on the infield with that barrel control.
Serenity Trice, Edwards, that'll do it. LSU down to their final 3 outs. 9-1-2 due up for the Tigers, down 2. Well, tonight at Eastern over on the SEC Network, the Rally Cap crew will break down the SEC baseball and softball weekend with highlights, analysis, and interviews. Lots of softball action to talk about this weekend, including Texas-Oklahoma, which if you're looking for that game, it has started over on ESPN News. We'll get you out there right here on ESPN at the conclusion of LSU-Arizona.
Looks like Tegan Cavan getting the start in the circle for the Texas Longhorns, and Sydney Berzon getting the start in the circle for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Former LSU Tiger.
Yes, should be another great matchup between those two teams.
Texas trying to avoid the sweep after they beat Oklahoma last year in the Women's College World Series, helping them make the champ game. Avery Hodge, first pitch swinging, is out. And now the lineup will turn over for LSU, and this portion of the lineup has had the most success this weekend against Arizona pitching.
They've really been hitting the ball hard. Jayla Lassiter had a line drive in her first at-bat, base hit in her last at-bat to go along with the bunt base hit that she had in the third inning. I'd imagine that she's going to be swinging away here.
Jalen Adams in the circle. Hard hit through the left side. And now the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Sierra Daniel. Third hit of the day for Jayla Lassiter.
You could feel the energy in this stadium just pick up immediately after that ball left Jayla Lassiter's bat at 75 miles per hour straight through the 5-6 hole for a base hit. And Sierra Daniel, although she did not have a hit in yesterday's game, does not have a hit so far today. She has been smoking the ball all over the field. She's just been a bit snake bitten up at the plate. They've gone right to people.
Looks at a ball in the dirt. Daniel this year has been the most consistent hitter for LSU. And entering the day was hitting .500 over her last 10 games.
It can be tempting sometimes, too, when you're a bit snake-bitten up at the plate to think, well, the one place that they can't defend the ball is if I launch it over the wall for a home run. Can be tempting to try to go there, but that's where you got to stick to the process. Stick to the process-oriented mindset.
Her one hit in the series was a home run back in Game 1 on Friday night. Hadn't homered all year until the last 10 games. Now she's got a pair. In the driver's seat with a 3-0 count, Kylie Edwards awaits on deck. Tigers took the first 2 games of the series 3-1 and 4-1. Led early in both. Led early today before a 3-run 6th for Arizona. Daniel in the left field, and that is caught for the second out by Addison Duke.
Another well-hit ball off of the bat of Sierra Daniel. This one just a bit too far off the end of the bat. So instead of finding its way into that left center gap, it goes right to Addison Duke in left field for out number 2. And I don't know if you could have drawn it up any better. The game comes down to Kylie Edwards, who's already 2 for 3 on the day, with a runner over at first base, 2 away, bottom of the 7th.
Has home run power. 8 bombs this year, tied for the team lead. Her average is up almost 100 points over the last month of the season. And Jalen Adams in true form going right after her on the first pitch. 0-2. Should Edwards reach, Alex Franklin awaits on deck. She has already driven in 1 run in this game. Runner at first, 2 outs, 0-2 count. Oh, that almost got a piece of Edwards.
It was so close, I don't even know how she got out of the way of that pitch.
Gumby. The way she's been swinging the bat, she didn't want to take
she
first
wants
on
to
a hit by pitch. Goes after it. Strike 3. Arizona avoids the sweep in Baton Rouge and takes Game 3 in comeback fashion.
Really just a complete team win for Arizona today. It all starts in the circle. Janae Berry setting the tone early, and then Jalen Adams coming in and slamming the door. Clutch, timely hitting too. Emma Kavanaugh and Sydney Stewart with that huge home run out to left field. And would you believe it, the only strikeout for the LSU offense all day long was that last strikeout to Kylie Edwards.
And wouldn't you believe it, the team with the least amount of hits ends
Wins
up
again.
winning Game 3. That's the way this series went. It was super regional-esque. So fun to be here for Game 3 for Maddie Shipman, our entire ESPN crew. Matt Schumacher, as we send you to another super regional-esque series. Oklahoma, Texas is next.